Strasbourg are coming off the back of an excellent season in Ligue One, finishing 7th in the league and achieving Conference League football for next season. Head coach Rosenior has done an incredible job, and the only thing Strasbourg is missing at the moment is trophies. But that is where we come in, as today we are taking charge of Strasbourg and we are going to ultimately win them a Champions League trophy, and a couple of Ligue 1 titles and Coupe de France's won't go amiss either. So this is the Strasbourg team we have loaded into in FC25, and on initial inspection it looks like it's nothing special, does it? What if I told you the oldest player in this starting 11 is actually only 25 years old? Lads, just look at some of the young players on the books of Strasbourg. The young talent in this team is frightening. They've got players like Mamadou Sarr, 19-year-old, 75 rated. However, I think he has just been sold to Chelsea in real life, so we're going to have to sell him. So quickly just going to jump in here, lads. I'm also aware that Habib Diarra has been sold to Sunderland in real life. However, this video was recorded about 3 weeks ago, I want to say. I've been on holiday, not had a chance to edit it. But before you crucify me in the comments, this video was recorded absolutely ages before Sunderland signed Diarra. We've got Oscar Pereira, who we've used before, 19-year-old, 69 rated. He could do with a loan to kick this rebuild off. Diego Moriero, 20-year-old, 75 rated. Ismail Doucouré, 21-year-old, 74 rated. Habib Diarra, 21-year-old, 76 rated. Lamar Shell, 74 rated, 21-year-old. Now on to the best 3 young players at the club. Emmanuel Imega, 76 rated, 22-year-old striker. Elaine Bakwa, 22-year-old, 77 rated right midfielder. And Guela Doué, 22-year-old, 75 rated right back. And just going through the rest of the squad, lads, as you can see, the average age is so young. We have only got 4 players at the club who are over 25 years of age, which is insane. However, we load into this rebuild at the end of season number 1, as we are using the live start points feature. So unfortunately, some of our best players who are in on loan will not be with us. The likes of Andrew Omabadele, Valentin Barco, Andrea Santos and Dode Petrovic will not be with us going into the start of this rebuild. Now, this is actually a bit of a problem, because when you take the loan players out of Strasbourg's starting 11, this is what you are left with. Now, it's a very young, exciting team on paper, but it's definitely lacking in certain positions for a team that wants to get European football. And it's clear to see that Strasbourg have had an over-reliance on loans this season, which could be something that affects them in real life next season. Now, unfortunately, we start the rebuild outside of a transfer window, but when we do reach the transfer window, definitely need to sign a new goalkeeper, a new central midfielder and a new centre back in order to be competitive at the top of Ligue 1 next season. Very hopeful the board are going to give us a very competitive budget. And the way I want to play with Strasbourg in this rebuild is going to be with a counter-attacking system, but a very young team full of pace and energy, hoping to soak up pressure and hit teams on the counter-attack. Now, as we know on this channel, we always send our youth scouts to one of your recommendations, and today we are going with this comment. We are sending our youth scouts off to Afghanistan, and for the first season we always look for goalkeepers. So we are now into our first season as Strasbourg boss, and we've only been given 15 million euros, and we have to sign a goalkeeper and central midfielder at the absolute least in this transfer window. We also have to sell Mamadou Sarr, as he has signed for Chelsea in real life. So we have got our transfer business done early in the first season, boys, and we have actually held off on spending any money on transfer fees, with 2 loan to buys and 1 free agent joining us for the first season. The free agent we signed was Alexis Gutierrez on a 4-year deal. 75 rated, 25-year-old, and can play on both wings as well. I felt like we were lacking a little bit of depth in the midfield position on the bench. He'll be a great rotation player going into the new season. The first loan signing we made was Gienuel Bolossian of Leverkusen. He joins us on a 1-season loan. He's 20-year-old, 72 rated, really decent stats. We can make him a permanent signing at the end of the season for 6.9 million euros. Now, our next loan to buy signing does come with a little bit of risk. We have loaned in Maximo Perrone from Manchester City on a 2-season loan. Here's the catch though. His optional future fee is 24 million euros, which is double his current market value. We're going to see how he gets on over the next 2 seasons. If he doesn't develop at a rate that we like, we just simply will not sign him. So with our new players added to our starting 11, this will be Strasbourg team to take us into our first season as Strasbourg boss. I think it's a very exciting young team on paper. No one in the starting 11 is above 23 years old, which is crazy. I'm not having people complaining saying I've only signed young players as well. You saw how many young players we loaded into. We've got a decent bench as well, boys. We've filled it out the best we can. Again, this is full of young players. Hopefully they'll all grow. And this starting 11 is locked in for the new season. We're not expecting any more incomings, but there will definitely be outgoings, boys. So we did say there were going to be some outgoings in this window. Mamadou Sarr has left the club. We had to sell him as he's left in real life. Thomas Delaney, Jeremy Sebas and Edouard Sabol have all left the club for transfer fees. Also, we have loaned out 2 young players, and more young players will be going out on loan off camera. With our transfer window done in terms of incomings and our starting 11 locked in, I don't think there's anything left we can do but simulate forward straight through to the end of the season. So I'm really excited to see how this young Strasbourg team gets on in the first season. Hopefully we see loads of development come May. So we have arrived at the end of season number 1, lads, and our performance on the pitch was rather bizarrely very similar to Strasbourg's in real life. We finished on 55 points, won 16 games. In real life, Strasbourg won 16 games but finished on 57 points, so we were 2 points off Strasbourg's real life points tally. But given the fact we've got a very young team, I'm happy with 7th place. I think that secures European football again in season number 2, which is a massive bonus. In the Coupe de France, however, not happy at all. Knocked out in the round of 32 by Toulouse. They beat us 2-1. I want a better performance next season. Now, in real life, Strasbourg have qualified for the Conference League, but in FC25, for some reason, we had qualified for the Europa League. And we went and won it, boys. I do not believe it. We beat Villarreal 3-2 in the final. Our young Strasbourg team are officially European champions, albeit it's the Europa League. And lads, this is actually bringing Champions League football to Strasbourg in season number 2. I am blown away. First trophy added to our trophy cabinet of the rebuild is only a Europa League. Absolutely crazy. And this is a Europa League winning Strasbourg team, and it's looking so good on paper. Remember, the oldest player in this starting 11 is 24 years old. The growth is just absolutely staggering. Now, however, going into the new season, we have to make Bolossian's loan into a permanent deal, which is going to cost us around 7 million euros. I'm not too sure how much money we're going to get. Now, if we do get a big transfer budget along with signing Bolossian, we do need to bring in a backup winger. Outara and Pereira are good players, both young, not really good enough though to make us a sustainable Champions League club. But next season's successes is really dependent on how much money the board decide to give us. Now, stats for this season, and Emmanuel Imego was fantastic, getting 30 goals but no assists. Really impressed with how we've performed this season. Let's carry this over into season number 2. So we have now arrived in season number 2, boys, and the first order of business, even before checking our transfer budget, is to make Jean-Louel Bolossian's loan into a permanent deal. He is worth 11 million euros. We are about to sign him for just 6.9 million euros. This is a great signing. Bolossian's officially ours, boys. Now let's check our transfer budget. So after making Bolossian a permanent signing, we do only have 23 million euros in the bank, and to be honest, I'm not really looking to sell any of our young talents in this transfer window. I think building a more well-rounded squad is key to success, so we're going to look to bring in a new backup winger and backup goalkeeper in this transfer window, because I really don't want to be taking a weakened side into the Champions League. So boys, a backup goalkeeper and right midfielder have been acquired, and given the fact we had a really small transfer budget, I think we've made 2 very strong signings. The backup goalkeeper we decided to bring to Strasbourg was Zion Suzuki. We signed him for 8.5 million euros. He's 23-year-old, 75 rated, really decent young goalkeeper. He will be a very good backup for us. We then managed to sign a backup winger, Ferran Perez of Valencia, for 9 million euros. 23-year-old, 75 rated, can play on both wings and got good stats. He'll be a great backup for both of our wingers heading into the Champions League. However, we are now left with just 3 million euros in the bank, and I'm going to say we are not going to make another signing in this transfer window. That's our window done. There might be some outgoings though. And this season, lads, we are once again going to send our youth scouts off to Afghanistan because someone, I'm not going to name them, completely forgot to check the youth report. So we're going back to Afghanistan for another year, looking for strikers, centre-backs and centre-mids. So we did say there was going to be some outgoings in this window, boys, and 3 players have left us for transfer fees. Marvin Sananya, Ryan Tutu and Junior Mwanga have all left the club, and we've actually recouped around 12 million euros from these sales. But despite them player sales, we won't be signing anyone else in this transfer window. So there's no change to the starting 11 heading into season number 2. This starting 11 is locked in for the new season, and I'm hopeful we can be very progressive on the pitch. There is change to our bench, however, as Perez and Suzuki come in. So there's not really much more we can do in season 2 but simulate forward straight through to the end of the season, and I'm really intrigued to see how we get on in the Champions League. So we have arrived at the end of the season, lads, and strap yourselves in. This has been a mad one. We finished 3rd in the Ligue 1 table on 71 points, only 3 points off title-winning PSG. We lost the least amount of games in the entire league, meaning Champions League qualification has been secured for season number 3. But hey, it gets better. Because we won the Coupe de France, boys. We beat Lyon 2-1 in the final, adding another trophy to our trophy cabinet, and our young team are smashing it at the minute. Because we only went and won the UEFA Super Cup as well, boys. We beat Borussia Dortmund 2-1. Now, I'm not too sure if this is just a glorified friendly, but what I do know is it's another trophy in our trophy cabinet. However, boys, that is where success stops. We didn't even get out of the league phase in the Champions League, and to be honest, it was expected. We finished 31st out of all teams. Hopefully, next season, we can be better in the Champions League because we've smashed it everywhere else. And we are now taking a very strong team into season number 3. And interestingly, Perrone is our current best player. His loan expires at the start of season 3. We have to somehow find 25 million euros to make the loan permanent. And if we do have a big enough transfer budget, we are absolutely making his loan permanent. But I think that could wipe out our entire budget for season 3. If the board have given us a massive budget, we will be looking to bring in a new centre-back to replace Doucouré. As a 23-year-old and 79 rated, his growth has really stumped. We need a world-class centre-back if we're going to progress in the Champions League. However, I do feel like Perrone's signing will take up all of our budget. Now, in terms of stats, Emmanuel Imega was fantastic again, getting 29 goals, and this season, he actually got 1 assist. Fair play to the guy. That's an amazing season in the history books. Let's just hope we've got enough to bring Perrone in on a permanent. So we are now into season 3. Have we got enough to sign Perrone? Yes, we do, lads. We've got 45 million euros in the bank, meaning after we've signed Perrone, we're going to have like 10 million left. I may look to sell 1 or 2 players because I do want to bring in a new centre-back, but let's just get the Perrone deal out the way first. So Perrone is officially a Strasbourg player. He's going to be here for the next 5 seasons, and his signing leaves us with 17 million euros in the bank, so we probably are going to have to sell a player if we're going to buy someone, and it's really not helping our cause when there's key first team players needing a new deal this season. So lads, we've had to go about this transfer window a little bit differently as we couldn't raise enough funds from player sales to bring a first choice centre back into the club. So Doucouré is in for another season. I did feel like we needed a bit of a clear out of the deadwood in the squad. So as you can see, 5 players were sold who had no future at the club. 2 of these players had handed in transfer requests as well. We have made a signing, however, it will be a much stronger backup centre back heading into the new season. Mark McKenzie is in. We've signed him from Toulouse for 18 million euros. 28-year-old, 79 rated, really rapid centre-back as well, which we'd like to see. Obviously, would have preferred to have signed a first-choice centre-back, but the Perrone deal just took up so much of our budget. We couldn't afford anyone who's actually better than Doucouré. So for a second consecutive season, we are taking an unchanged starting 11 into season number 3. But this team on paper, lads, is absolutely unbelievable. Only 2 players below 80 rated, young talent all across the team. This team is locked in for season 3. This team knows how to win trophies. Now, we have got 9 million euros in the bank, but let's be honest, we're not signing anyone with this money. No one's joining us or leaving us now for the rest of the window, so I don't really think there's much more we can do but simulate forward straight through to the end of the season. And I actually want to perform a little bit better in the Champions League as well this season. So we have arrived at the end of the season, lads, and I need a job in professional football because we have won the Ligue 1 title as Strasbourg boss, gaining 79 points, finishing 7 points clear of second place Monaco. We even scored 81 goals, which is insane, and that is a Ligue 1 trophy added to our trophy cabinet. All that we need to win now is the Champions League, but we would lose the Trophy de Champions. We lost to PSG 3-1, but we made a little bit more room on our trophy cabinet as we went back to back in the Coupe de France. We beat PSG 5-3 in a thrilling final, and the trophies are just stacking up in this rebuild. And we had a Champions League trophy? No, we can't. We've not made the final. We actually only managed to make the playoff round, and even though we took a 2-1 lead to PSV, they won 2-0 and knocked us out 3-2 over 2 legs. So our performance in France has been amazing from day one of this rebuild. Our performance in the Champions League for the last 2 seasons has been poor. Needs to be addressed next season. But this team is looking amazing on paper, lads. The attacking options that we've got are crazy. When you think of it, we have actually got 7 attacking players on the pitch. That's why we score so many goals. Our team is looking amazing. However, I do finally want to make some signings for our starting 11 next season. Hopefully the board are going to give us some money. I want to bring in a left midfielder to replace Moriera. That is a certainty. That's going to be our main target. I do still want to replace Doucouré. He's 24, 81 rated. I think we can get a better player than him, but I'm anticipating to get around 50 million euros. I reckon we'll only be able to make one signing next season. Emmanuel Imega has just had the best season any player has had for us in FC25. He has literally just scored 49 goals in 50 games. That is ridiculous. Backcourt and Nanase did add some goals, but looking at the rest of the team, lads, all of our goals came through Imega this season. He's been ridiculous. 49 goals in 50 games. Come on now. That's easily the best return any player has given us in FC25 so far. So we have arrived in what is season 4, lads, and I was right about the budget. We've been given 55 million euros. Should have enough money to bring in a new starting left midfielder. As for signing anyone else, I'm not too sure. So we have managed to put our budget to good use, and we have brought in a new starting left midfielder. Jean-Matteo Bahoya has joined us from Frankfurt for 30 million euros. 23-year-old, 81 rated left midfielder. He is French as well, which is a big bonus. He is going to be a real outlet on the left-hand side of our midfield. This deal does leave us with 17 million euros, but being 100% honest, we're not signing anyone with 17 million euros who makes a good dent onto our bench or starting 11. In terms of incomings, that probably is going to be our transfer window done. So we weren't really expecting much movement out of the club as well in this transfer window. Just 2 players have left us. Pape de Jong has left us for just 1.8 million euros, and we have sent out promising youngster Rabbit Nzingula. He's gone out on loan for 2 seasons. So heading into the new season, there's just one change to our starting 11. Bahoya is now in, and this team is locked in for the new season. What a team we have built here at Strasbourg. Our bench is now looking very strong, lads. Moriera and Mackenzie are over 80 rated, with Fran Perez and Suzuki not far behind. This team is a very strong team, and my main goal for this season is to just get further than the playoffs in the Champions League. And with that being said, lads, we're going to keep it short and sweet for the season 4 off season. We are now simulating forward straight through to the end of the season. So we have arrived at the end of the season, lads, and if ever a season summed up FC25, this is it. Now remember, last season we won Ligue 1 and scored 81 goals on our way to winning the title. Well, fast forward 12 months with a better squad, we finished second in the league and only scored 63 goals. Now I know bad seasons can happen, but come on here, at least try to make the game somewhat consistent. So we are no longer the champions of France, but we have secured Champions League football once again in season 5. And we also lost the Trophée de Champion to Monaco 1-0 in the final. Not really having much luck this season, are we? And we also lost in the Coupe de France final as well to, I am not even trying to pronounce that team's name. Beat us 3-2, boys. That's literally missed out on everything by the skin of our teeth. Have we got a chance to win the Champions League? No, we've not, because it's actually going to be an El Clasico in the Champions League final. We did make it to the quarterfinals, but ultimately lost to Real Madrid 4-2 over 2 legs. Hopefully next season we can crack on, start winning some trophies again. This is our first trophyless season for quite some time, but there are some positives to take from season number 4. Starting 11 is looking absolutely sensational on paper, with world-class players all across the pitch. If I had to improve one position, it would be right centre-back and improving on Doucouré. This has been in the works for like 2 seasons. We've just never had the money to do so. Willing to invest every single penny of our budget next season to bring a better right centre-back in than Doucouré. And we have got a decent bench and reserves as well heading into season 5. I may look to bring in a backup centre midfielder, dependent on how much money the board give us. Now, when it comes to the stats this season, Emmanuel Imega was absolutely sensational again. Didn't quite get 49 goals in 50 games like last season, but he did get 34 goals and 3 assists, which is a great return. Nanase, Backcourt and Bahoya all got double figures for goals as well, which is fantastic. So we've arrived in season number 5 and we've got 77 million euros in the bank. I think we should definitely have enough money to bring a world-class centre-back in. A backup midfielder though might not be valuable. So boys, we have managed to sign a centre-back, and he is definitely a world-class one at that, as we have brought in Ibrahima Konate from Bayer Leverkusen for 60 million euros. His contract was expiring. We got him on a bit of a cheap deal. 87 rated, 30-year-old, unbelievable player. Would instantly be one of the best centre-backs in the French League. Champions League winner, Premier League winner. This is an amazing signing. We are now left with just 10 million euros after this signing, meaning another signing is highly unlikely. And with Konate added to the centre of our back three, look at how strong our team is heading into the new season. Genuinely could be the strongest team on paper in France, and I am so excited to see how this team gets on this season. This team is now locked in for season number 5. Now, there definitely won't won't be any more signings as we've got quite a few contracts to renew. We are now ready to simulate forward straight through to the end of the season and hopefully add some more trophies to our already bulging trophy cabinet. So we have arrived at the end of season number 5, lads, and we were absolutely back to our best this season, winning the Ligue 1 title once again on 83 points, winning 27 of our 34 games. Strasbourg are once again the champions of France. However, in the Coupe de France, boys, we actually lost in the round of 32 against Montpellier. They beat us 2-1. That is a genuine shock. But lads, the time has come. We are finally in the Champions League final and we will be taking on Real Madrid. At least it's not AC Milan. Now, we finished 8th in the league phase on 18 points. Really decent showing, winning 6 of our 8 games. Meaning we went straight into a round of 16 game and we battered Borussia Dortmund 5-2 over 2 legs. In the quarterfinals, we took on Barcelona and beat them 5-4 over 2 legs. The second leg looked a thrilling game, finishing 3-3. And in the semi-finals, we battered Real Betis 5-1, set up final against Real Madrid. We have put on some really strong performances in the Champions League this season. We just need one more in the final. Now, the team heading into the final is looking amazing. We have now got 2 90+ rated players in our starting 11, and no one in the starting 11 would have been below 86 rated. However, Bahoya is injured and cannot play in the final, meaning Moriera has to start it on the wing. To be honest with you, Moriera is not a bad replacement. 82 rated winger, still a good player. Got a decent bench heading into the final as well. Really hopeful we can beat Real Madrid and get this Champions League won. Now, in terms of stats, once again, Emmanuel Imega was unbelievable, getting 36 goals and 3 assists. And I think it goes without saying, he is easily going to be our inductee to the Scott Attempts Gaming Hall of Fame. He has been unbelievable in this rebuild. Probably one of the best players I've used in FC25. So can Imega do it one more time in the Champions League final? Let's find out. So here we go, boys. It's Champions League final time. I can already see Mbappe for Real Madrid. Let's have a look at the team. They've got Vinicius Jr., Mbappe, Dembele, Bellingham, Cruz. A 90 rated player at right back as well. Wow, their team is a lot better than ours. They've got 3 players in the mid 90 overalls in Vinicius Jr., Mbappe and Bellingham. We're going to have to be at our best to win this game, boys. Felix can't get the fall through to Omega. Oh no, Mbappe's in. Save it. Oh, what a goal. Oh, what a goal. 1-0 to Real Madrid with the first real attack of the game, and obviously Mbappe scores. Probably made a mistake bringing the goalkeeper so far out. Imega.
Nope.
Of course he misses. Empty net though. It's 1-1, boys. Instant response. Backward with a goal. We have just had a huge stroke. A look there though. Imega, how does he not score? It's not even going to show me for some reason. And luckily Backward has an empty net to put the ball into. Diarra. Easy ball to... Come on. Imega. It's through. What a finish by Emmanuel Imega. It's 2-1 to Strasbourg. We have turned this final around in a matter of minutes. And once we get past that Real Madrid initial press, there's so much room. Look how much space Imega's got. Mistimed slide tackle by Hincapié. And what a finish from our star man Imega. Diarra. Backward. That's a great ball to Nanasi. Imega's free. It's 3-1, boys. We have completely turned this game around. And Real Madrid are just so open at the back. Look at this for football. Brilliant balling by Nanasi. And he's just completely unmarked 6 yards out. And I think that's the first header I've scored in FC25 today. What a turnaround we have done in this first half. We just need to hold on in the second. Oh, Mbappe's through. Mbappe's through. Oh, it's a great save. Oh, dear. I can't switch player. Thank God he missed, because it would not let me switch to Kanate. And there is the full-time whistle, boys. We have beaten Real Madrid 3-1. It was looking bleak in the first 10 minutes. And Mbappe's missed a hatful of chances. But Emmanuel Imega has fired us to a Champions League trophy. Now all that is left to do, boys, is lift the Champions League trophy on what's been a very successful rebuild. And Strasbourg are the champions of Europe. That's another rebuild successfully boxed off. So I just want to say a massive thank you for watching the video, boys. If you have enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It does really help me out. And I will see you next week